So for my capstone, I'm going to be learning how to crochet, and though I'm starting from scratch, a lot of people in my family, like my grandma and my mom and my sister, all know how to crochet, and it's something that they're able to use in their life, and it's very handy. So I'm hoping that I can learn from them as well as YouTube videos and just be able to get down the basics and hopefully be able to extend that into my future.
So I'm here with my grandma.
Hello.
She's just going to show me the basic stitches before I learn how to do anything else.
Okay. Okay, make a knot and make sure you've got a long tail, a fairly long tail.
Longer.
Yes.
Then make an X.
Yes.
Pull through. Go.
Yep, you got it. You've got it. Pull that.
Pull. Here.
Good job. Okay, now make your loop a little bit smaller. Pull the other one a little bit smaller. A bit smaller yet. Okay, that's good.
All right, now I'm going to put it on my hook.
Yes. Okay, now you know how to wrap it around your hand. And, okay, like this.
And then just hold it with these two fingers.
That's correct. This has to go under your baby finger.
All right.
Okay, from the front in and pull through the hoop. Good job.
Pull up.
Okay.
And I just have to keep holding just up
don't
here.
worry if the loops are a little too big or but we don't want them too small.
Yeah.
Okay, pull through. Good. Move your fingers up to hold your work. Not quite so big there. Just a little less. Okay, make it a little less.
Yeah.
Okay. Through the center. Pull through. Hold.
I decided that this was probably my best angle to film from. It definitely shows the entire learning process. I have to say this was probably the most difficult part of this entire thing, was learning how to do the basic chain at the beginning and get a hang of going fast. And just for this portion of the video, I didn't want to cut down any of this because I wanted to show my progression through not knowing it at all and being really slow to kind of getting the hang of it and kind of getting a bit better at it. But for the rest of the video, I'll be cutting out pieces of it because it's just going to be repetition.
So this is what I started with. That's the knot I made at the beginning. It was pretty loose. And then it got a lot better. And this is what I've done so far. And this is just another one that I was practicing on. So far, this is my progress. And then I'm going to learn another stitch later. And then that'll probably be another day. I'm going to learn another stitch later. And then I'm going to try making a couple things.
I'm going to learn how to do the single crochet.
So starting out with your chain 30, I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook into that very last chain. So the first thing I really want you to know is that there are actually 3 strands of yarn in each chain. And this can actually become confusing when you place your first single crochet. So I'm going to actually show you where all of these strands are located. So go ahead and insert that hook into the second chain from your hook. And now we'll do our first single crochet. So yarn over from underneath. Never go on the top. Go ahead and yarn over from underneath the yarn and pull it through that first strand. Now you'll have 2 loops on your hook. So you have your first loop and then your second loop. And then go ahead and yarn over again and pull through both loops that are on your hook. And there you have your first single crochet.
I just kind of pull it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do our second single crochet. And that will be in your second chain from this first single crochet. So insert your hook into that first strand. Yarn over, pull through the first strand on your chain. There'll be 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. And that will be your second single crochet. And then again, in the third chain, insert the hook, yarn over. There will be 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, and then pull through both loops on your hook, and that will be your third single crochet. And then just continue this pattern all the way down your chain until you're finished single crocheting on this chain. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn the video off and meet you back here when I'm almost through with my chain. Okay, now I'm going to place my last single crochet. Don't place it in the knot, but make
All right, so I'm just gonna go through and finish this first. So as you can see, it's been kind of hard for me. I'm sure I'll pick up soon, but it's definitely difficult when you're first starting. So this is what I have so far. It's a little messy, but it's coming along. It's the first time I'm doing it, so I don't expect it to be perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to leave it at this for now. So this is the regular chain, and this is a single crochet. So I'm just going to practice it a little bit more and then come back. And then I'm going to show you guys what I've done so far. And then I'm probably going to make it a bit longer. So I'm going to learn how to do just a basic square, just a piece of cloth, before I do my final dishcloth at the end. So I'm going to use the crochet that I learned in the last one. So first I'm just going to make a quick chain to start off. Alright, so that's probably long enough. That's about 15 stitches. So I'm just going to go off what I learned in the last video. So I'm going to do not the one that it's in and not the other one. I'm going to put my hook in the second loop. So there should just be 2 loops around the hook. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to pull through. So that creates the beginning of my crochet. Then I'm just going to continue this step all the way down. Alright, so now I've gone to the very end, and this is just one string, a single crocheting. So this is mine from a few weeks ago compared to where it is now. So this one definitely looks a lot more even, it's a bit longer. So now I'm just going to try and go through this. I'm actually going to just see if I can single crochet through here again using the techniques I learned from the other video. And then I'm going to try and make a square through that. So I skipped through a lot because I was just doing the exact same pattern. So I just did it for about 2 more rows, but I just want to show my progress. So obviously there's still a few mistakes, but I'd say it's definitely getting better. It's getting a lot easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through again, just doing the exact same pattern throughout the whole thing. So I made a mistake there, so I'm just going to pull it back one.
And then I'm just going to go from this one here. So we always have to start on the second one, and I accidentally started on the first one for that one. So I'm just going to have to go back and go through it again. So I'm struggling a bit here to get these ones looser. So again, I'm just going to pull it back. I want to start filming again because this is where I'm starting to struggle a bit more now that they're getting tighter and a bit harder to manage. So I just wanted to show how I go back, and you can easily fix where you've messed up. Once you can see where the problem is, you can just pull it back a few chains and then it'll redo it. Now that I have the technique mostly down, I'm going to go for my final piece. I'm going to make a dishcloth. So for the dishcloth, I just watched a video. I'm going to be doing this single crochet for it, which I've learned. So I'm going to start with my chain. The video says to make 25 chains, but I'm just going to do 20. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm basically going to take all the skills that I've learned throughout this process, and I'm going to start it from scratch. So I started off making sure that all of my chains and all of my loops were an even size, because from what I've learned, it's a lot harder to crochet and to get your hook through when the chains are tight, and the more layers that you do to it, it almost gets tighter. So I tried to make them all loose and even, so as well as looking good, I was also able to easily go through the loops with my hook. So as you can see, I sped up parts of the video and I cut out parts of the video because everything about crocheting is super repetitive and it takes a very long time to show you the same step over and over again. So I just cut it into sort of the more important parts and where you can see change taking place, but also showing you what techniques I'm using and how I'm working through problems. So this is what about 3 to 4 rows looks like. Now that I've basically shown you the point of it, I'm going to go through and do a little bit more and come back. And I didn't want to film the entire process because it's very repetitive and it would be like a half hour, 45 minutes of footage, but I'm just going to show this and then I'm going to do a few more stitches to show you guys. So I've just been doing the exact same thing the entire time. I've been going through the second stitch and then looping around and going through again and just repeating time at the very end. And then I've just been turning the wool over like this and going on the other side. Alright, so this is where I'm at so far. It's a little bit uneven. I'm going to see if I can try and fix it, but for now I'm just going to keep working through it and make it a little bit bigger. So even though I filmed this entire process, like I said, I was cutting it down to the more important parts or just progress sort of checkpoints. And I just wanted to show here, it's quite obvious that I was having a bit of a hard time getting it through. So I just wanted everyone to see how I work through that and what I do to loosen it. So that's what I mean by turning it over. So I'm just going like this so that I can start on the end again. And then I can see quite obviously that I've messed up and it's going kind of diagonal. I've been doing one less stitch for each. So what I'm going to do is try and go across and see if I can just fix it. So quite obviously, this is where things started to get messed up, and I wish I had noticed earlier so I could have just gone back a couple stitches, but unfortunately I didn't. So I just had to find other ways using the skills that I knew on how I could possibly go back and fix those stitches and maybe make it look a bit more even again. So there, now I've sort of fixed the top of it. I'm going to fix the bottom another time, but I've went ahead and fixed the top, so now I know how to do the bottom when I do the rest. Okay, so as you can see, this part is where it's uneven, so what I'm going to do is stick my hook through the loop that I want to start evening it out with, because these ones here are a bit higher up, so to even it out, I'm going to start with the one that's going a bit lower. I'm going to stick my hook through,
And then I'm going to stick the detached string through. I'm just going to continue to do my single crochet through the entire row until it's evened out. So as you can see, I've been able to even out the top and the sides a little bit, which is what I wanted. It definitely doesn't look perfect, but I'd say it's pretty good considering I actually had no idea how to do that. I just kind of had to guess, and it ended up working. So I think I'm just going to stick with that technique for now. So now that I've evened everything out as much as possible, I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the strings that are the part of the connecting yarn. So this is the ending project after cutting everything and just kind of fixing up the edges as much as possible. It's definitely nothing crazy, but I am super proud of it considering from the beginning I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I had to start from scratch, and these were kind of some of the things I was making. So I'd say that this is definitely a good difference. I'm super proud of myself, and I hope I can actually take this skill and be able to make other things in the future. Like I could make blankets out of this, I could make clothes, I could make gifts. So I'm hoping I can take this skill further with the basic crochets that I know, and I can use this sometime in the future. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope while I learned something, you were able to learn something too.